All right, my bad, y'all. Just some technical difficulties on our end, but we got a new stream link up. Welcome to the stream. UFC 324 in the books. We are live from the War Room, obviously, like we normally do with our recaps. Sometimes it's recorded, but I think going into this year, we want to do more of it live. So we're live now alongside Chris Schroyer. I'm Shrikar Jendran. Welcome in. First off, Chris, obviously, we've been talking about the importance of this card. In previous streams, I've mentioned that this is the most important card for the UFC since UFC 300. And hey, what's up? Heavily contest 9799.
Yes,
what's up, my
sir.
brother?
Thank you for tuning in.
But I think this card definitely you could feel the importance, and no brighter moment than honestly right before they started the main card when they went through that 20-minute presentation. That was probably crazy. Didn't need to be that long, but it only emphasizes my point. It really showed how much this card means. The War Room is back. Ty shit. What's up, bro? How we doing? But yeah, you could feel the importance of this card, and I think this card definitely delivered. No question in my mind, at least. And it's off the strength of the main event alone. So, Chris, what you think about everything that went down? How'd you enjoy your night, man? How'd you enjoy your night? What went down?
It was good. I had a couple drinks. I
had a couple edibles. We're on the right wave.
It was good, bro. I mean, I think starting the card off with 4 straight knockouts, especially a couple at the buzzer. I mean,
was it 4 straight? Yeah, it was 4 straight.
4 straight.
I forgot about Krylov.
Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely what you want. Excuse me, definitely what you want to see if you're the UFC. I mean, I think also Dana implementing a bunch of bigger bonuses for these fighters really helped some of them elevate their game. I think people were going a little more for the finish. One of the things that I was very surprised about was Otava Gauthier going to decision. I mean, who expected that?
Hey, chat, let us know if your parlay just got absolutely decimated by Gauthier going the distance. Because I know a lot of y'all probably had Gauthier by knockout.
Oh my, that Krylov buzzer will keep me up at night. I had plus 1,000 decision. No, dude, I'm sorry. That is heinous. That is heinous.
That's a horrible beat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very sorry. Hey, I've been on the wrong end of some bad beats. It happens, but for a plus 1,000, that's gonna sting. But
if it makes you feel any better, one of my friends had the Holloway Gaethje fight at 300 to go the distance and lost out on like $500. So yeah, that's
crazy.
Yeah,
in a 5-rounder, I think that's even crazier.
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. I also had Otava Gauthier and under half a round. Like I said, I almost nailed the line. It was like plus 250. I said it was going to be at least plus 200. When he flatlined him in the first 30 seconds and didn't follow up, I was pissed. But to say the least, I mean, props to Puliayev, bro. I mean, what a chin on that guy. He really stuck it through the mud for that. So I think Gauthier gassed out. We saw him in new territory, which, if we're really going to get the full experience of seeing what he can do as a fighter, I think growing pains like that is definitely something that he needs to go through and we need to witness. But yeah, I mean, I was impressed with the card. I thought it was solid. The main card was good. The John Silva fight and Arnold Allen fight definitely lived up to the hype. Waldo Derek Lewis was fun. And then O'Malley, doing O'Malley things, and main event. I mean, you said it, Shrikar. I think that really put the card just that much over the edge. And kind of, I wouldn't say saved it from being a solid card, but I think it was definitely a very fun scrap to be like, okay, good way to kick off the Paramount era. I don't think it was a bad way. I'm sure you agree as well.
Yeah, I stayed away. That price on Otava was, we mentioned it on the pod, but Otava at minus 800 was just not worth it. Unless you were doing Gauthier by knockout, which was also minus like
370.
Minus 300. Yeah, it's just not worth it. even as a parlay piece, just wasn't worth it because Pulayev, if you guys were really here for the streams, I mentioned Pulayev would pose, at least a decent challenge, unlike anything that Ateba seen from his previous opponents. And that's how it was. He was minus 1,500 at close. Mm-hmm. My favorite part was Pulayev being mad at the decision and the judges after. Yeah. Actually, Ro, he texted me about that. He was like, yo, Pulayev really thought he won. He had his hand up and everything. And I was like, yeah, some fighters really just try and manifest that.
Speaking about closing lines, Rose Namajunas was like minus 600 at close. So we'll get into that.
We're going to get into all you guys know how we do this. We go fight by fight from the bottom to the top. If you stay with us long enough, we're going to get to your favorite fight. And if you're in here right now, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that post notification button, share the stream with your homies, your friends, wherever you want to go. Let's just run it up on this one. But thank you guys for being in here. Always, chat's going to be open. If you have any questions for us, if you want to just talk, go ahead and talk. Just keep it respectful, keep it clean. But let's get right into our first fight here. Adam Fugit versus Ty Thriller Miller. Ty is the first person to bring home a 100K bonus, gets performance of the night. Hey, what's up, Tyler? How we doing, man? How we doing? Shout out Ty Miller, man. I think that right hand is a laser. Even against a lower tier opponent, he did a great job drawing Fugit's hands away from him and leaving the chin exposed. That's exactly how you're supposed to fight Adam Fugit. I thought he went about it perfectly, relying on the boxing the whole way. If the wrestling holds up, I think Ty could be a real problem in this division. I think he'll stay at welterweight. I'm Ty Miller. Nah, you're Tyler Fish, man. You're not Ty Miller. In terms of matchmaking, I'll keep it brief. I want to see Ty Miller versus Song Keenan. Again, Ty Miller absolutely lit up Fugit on Saturday night, made it pretty clear he's a real prospect. You don't need to rush him up the rankings just yet, but I think if you give him a veteran, someone like a Song Keenan, I think that's perfect. Same kind of range, crafty, experienced. I believe Song Keenan is 6-5 in the UFC now. This is a good test, right? If Miller handles this, you're probably looking at another highlight reel moment getting added to the resume because I do think he can finish Song Keenan. If 40-year-old Muslim Salikov could do it, Ty Thriller Miller can do it. So Fugit is just not UFC level, but Miller looked good on the feet. Yeah, I agree. Fugit's getting cut. It's just the way it is. He's getting cut. But Ty Miller, man, this guy could be something. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think he did exactly what we said. Used the boxing to his advantage. Wasn't a crazy size difference between the two, but he definitely fought like the bigger fighter. Landed the crisp, more clean shots, and I just think that we got what we saw from him on Contender Series. Just a really good striker, and I like what you mentioned about the wrestling. If the wrestling can hold up, he did defend 2 takedowns from Fugit. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Fugit's a great wrestler, but still defending takedowns against anyone is a good sign. I like how he just really put pedal to the metal when he knew he had him hurt. He didn't kind of beat around the bush. He really went for the finish, and especially at the buzzer. Some guys kind of like to, play it safe and say, all right, I'm going to go into this next round. But he knew when he had Fugit's back against the cage that he had to tee off and gets a nice little buzzer beater victory. And like you said, another performance, his first performance bonus in the UFC was his UFC debut. So, love to see that from him. I like the Song Keenan fight. I think that would be a good test. Song Keenan's he's a tough son of a gun too. So I think that would be a good test for him. And yeah, I'm impressed. I was impressed with Ty Miller on the Contender Series. I'm impressed what he did against someone who's tough. I mean, Adam Fugit's tough. Look at his losses. He hasn't lost.
It's tough, but the chin was already gone by this point.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, his losses aren't terrible. He has quality losses on his record to quality opponents. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he didn't get demolished in some of those losses, but the guys he lost to are good fighters. And now Ty Miller adds to that list, and gets his first win in the UFC. Like heavily said, he survived against Morales till the 3rd round. So I mean, good performance. I'm happy with what I saw from him, and I think that he's just going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah, he survived against a younger Morales, but I guess surviving against a Terminator in any case is good, right? So let's move on here to our second 100K bonus. The first 2 fights of the night, 2 performance bonuses, both 100K, both end in the last second of the round. Josh Hokett gets it done, man. Chat, let me know what y'all think about Josh Hokett, because I've seen a lot of mixed stuff, and I know you guys may see something different than me. First off, I thought that was a really, really strange stoppage. I know like it was like aura farming and it looked cool and all that. Freeman, how do you somehow fight worse than his debut? I mean,
I don't know.
If we look at the post-fight stats, if the official stats are correct, yeah, 71 total strikes for Hokett and 0 for Freeman. So I guess that tells you how this fight went. But again, really weird stoppage to me, because Freeman clearly knew the round was ending and he was starting to recover. Hokett let him recover. Like, there was still going to be a full minute. I think the stoppage felt a little bit premature. I didn't think you have to end it in the last second. If Freeman quits on the stool, then okay. If the corner throws in the towel, okay. But he made it to the bell, so I think that one kind of stings. But Denzel had straight zeros on his stats. Yeah. It was all eggs. It was all eggs, man.
You put up a Tony Snell in the UFC.
But the reason that I asked you guys for your opinion on Josh Hokett is because I know people talk about Hokett being heavyweight Colby. And I think that is kind of true to an extent. I guess if you compare the mic skills and the fact that he's a wrestling base and he really pressures. Honestly, and this might be hotter, I think Josh Hokett is more like a heavyweight Fluffy. Like great instincts.
Thank you, Ro.
Yeah, literally Tony Snell. But I think Hokett is heavyweight Fluffy. Great instincts, great pressure. He knows when to protect position and when to just let it fly. So I think Josh Hokett is more similar to a Fluffy Hernandez of the heavyweight division, someone that can really break you with pressure, kind of the mold of a Dricus or a Marab or these pressure fighters that are coming into the UFC. I think if you want one at heavyweight, that's literally what Josh Hokett is. And he's quickly becoming one of the bigger, like, meme fighters in the sport. But, at heavyweight, memes only get you so far, and you still have to compete. So in terms of the matchmaking, Walter Walker is fighting Marcin Tybura next. I'm forgetting what card it's on. I think it's on the Seattle card. So that fight is happening. And honestly, win or lose, we've seen Josh Hokett call out Walter Walker before. Walter Walker currently is like 14th in the rankings. I think pivoting into a fight with Hokett just feels right, whether he beats Tybura or not. I think it'll still work. Like, it is a fun fight. It's a chaotic fight. Like, it is an extremely goofy fight in the best possible way. I mean that. I don't know what's going to happen in a fight with Hokett and Walter Walker, because I don't want to pick Hokett to get heel hooked right away. Could it happen though? Yeah, it could. I think Tybura is going to get heel hooked. So I think that streak will carry on. I think he can make it far. Just have to see if he's got a chin. Yeah, I think that's the big thing, because no one's ever put Hokett on the back foot. So in that regard, I do think we have to see that first. But Chris, well, do you agree with it? Do you see what I'm saying with the heavyweight Fluffy? You see what I'm saying when he's like cut from that same cloth?
Yeah, I mean, I like what I see from Josh Hokett. And whether you like his post-fight interviews or not, I mean, the guy can fight, and we've seen it. He's just an athlete. I mean, it's evident, and you look at his track record. Collegiate wrestler, played in the NFL, and Freeman's an athlete too. I mean, this guy's an ex-Marine, has some grappling background of his own, but yeah, it just looked like these two guys were not in the same league. It looked like Hokett was levels above Freeman, and whether that's Freeman, I don't know, not being prepared or just being very timid, because that's what we saw in his first fight against Marek Bulo in Qatar. I mean, just very timid and just didn't want to crash in. I mean, Hokett, yeah, we never really seen anyone put him on the back foot. He's just a big pressure fighter. And I mean, until you've size him up with someone who's really going to do that to him, I mean, I think he's just going to stick to this game plan and I'm just going balls to the wall for as long as I can until I get hit. I think Hokit versus Walter would be a good fight. I don't know what the UFC wants to do with Hokit in terms of rankings, but I would like to see that. I'd also like to see him against a striker, just to see who could really put that type of pressure on Hokit. I mean, him versus a grappler would be good. We haven't even really seen Walter strike. I mean, this guy doesn't even need to strike. If they don't want to do that, I was thinking someone like maybe like Mick Parkin, just to get the striking aspect. And Parkin's been solid in the UFC, 4-1. He was on a 4-fight win streak, just lost his last fight to TOPURIA. So kind of getting that in the mix. I think that would be a good fight if they don't want to thrust him super high into the rankings. But I mean, he kind of deserves it if he's going to be, an entertainer, how he has been. And if he's going to put on good fights and just kind of breeze through people, then yeah, why not? I'd surge him. He's not getting any younger. He's not a spring chicken, but I mean, he's good and he has power. He's shown that he is an all-around game, but yeah, we really need to see who can test him. Kind of like Gaethje, kind of like we need to see him in uncharted waters to really know what we're getting with Josh Hokit. But
yeah,
good performance. Yeah. First guy to ever win by a middle finger TKO.
That
was crazy. Yeah, so
he was definitely aura farming. Like, I get it,
Yeah.
I understand, but it kind of just I feel like it should have gone on a little bit longer than that. Not to say that I think Freeman definitely would have just lost in the
he would have got knocked down in the next round. Don't get me wrong.
It really did not matter, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. We move on. By the way, those are the only 2 fights on the early prelims. It was just straight to the prelims after that. A lot of things fell through, including MJ and Hernandez, which, I'll make some time to talk about right now. Absolutely insane that we're still doing this betting stuff and how corrupt the UFC is. But I could go on and on about that. We're going to keep it to the fights that actually happened. Let us know in chat what y'all think about this whole MJ and Hernandez situation. Because
Dana confirmed it was specifically about the betting line.
Yeah, I was like, there's no other way. Like, I think Hernandez may have had an injury. A lot of things could have went into that. But
did you see Michael Johnson doing bookie promos the morning of his fight? The morning of or yesterday morning, he was doing like, how some UFC fighters are like, oh, there's a fight this weekend, use my code on this, whatever, bet on whoever.
I don't know, just weird stuff, and we're not gonna get into.
Posted one of them, and I was like,
we gotta leave the betting stuff alone. We gotta leave that. That's for the federal government to.
Yeah, it's for the FBI. We're not stepping on your toes, FBI.
Hey, Alex Perez and Charles Johnson. Oh man.
Oh god. Not
skull. It hurts, Charles. It hurts. Why you gotta do this, man? Go out, beat Lonnie Kavanaugh. You do this? As soon as you get your step up the rankings, brother. Anyways, man. It's very sad. It's a very sad day when we see Charles Johnson lose. But I will say, the skullet was not it. Get rid of
the crazy skullet, bro. That wasn't even like what he usually does. That was full grown skullet.
It was not it. It was not working. All right. I support you, Charles Johnson, and I'm gonna always support you as a fighter. But there's certain things with the hairstyle I cannot agree with. Coming from the guy wearing a beanie right now, my hair does not look good. It doesn't. I get that. But I don't know, man. Grow it back.
Hey, that's confidence, though.
Or just shave it all off and go bald. There's no point in wearing the skullet anymore. Energy sniffs the rankings and instantly becomes, yeah.
Yep.
That's what happens. That's the story of Energy. Chris, what do you think about this fight, man?
Dude, good for Alex Perez. He's back. I mean, he should have beat Asu Almabayev in his last fight before shooting a stupid takedown and then getting his neck snatched up. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the predictions video that Perez, the guys he's lost to in the past couple of years are very good, very good. And the injury definitely took a toll. And I said, you still have to be weary about that, even though in his last fight, he looked very sharp against Asu, and it was just a simple mistake that I'm sure he wishes he could have back, and he won the first 2 rounds undoubtedly in that fight. I just think the big thing with this fight is Charles Johnson is known to start slow and turn it up as the fight goes on, and Perez is known to be a fast starter. And I just think that was the difference. Perez really just didn't leave anything to the imagination, pressured him instantly. And once he got him in a corner and he was cutting off every way that Charles wanted to move around the octagon, because that's one of Energy's biggest skills is really just ring movement. He doesn't sit still. He loves to shuffle and try and pick his angles. But when he gets cut off, he's in danger. And that's exactly what Perez did. And Perez is not he's not a slouch. He has hands, and he just showed it. He has power too. I think I'm very impressed with Perez being patient and not just going for it to the point where he could have got knocked out. I mean, Johnson was landing slightly, but he was wobbled the whole time. And Perez, he was just waiting for the right moment to crash in again. And then he did it, and he knocked out Charles Johnson on the exit when he was trying to shuffle away. So yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with Alex Perez. I think that this is a great bounce back for him, especially after, like I mentioned, his last fight where he lost by, a mistake that he made. And I mean, he's been around for a long time. This guy is good. I don't know who I would want him to fight. I'm trying, I would say, is giving him Brandon Royval a little bit too ambitious?
No, because if Charles Johnson won this fight, I would have set up Royval versus Johnson too immediately. So I think Perez versus Royval is fair. I don't know. I think you said it perfectly. I think Perez had the perfect game plan. My biggest thing is with Charles Johnson, we talked about the height and reach advantage that he had going into the fight, which I believe he had a 4.5-inch reach advantage, 3-inch height advantage. So all the physical stuff was going his way. And Tyler said Urseg. That could be a good one for Perez.
I wouldn't be mad at that either.
But Perez understood the issue that he was facing with the range immediately. And by doing that, he closes the distance, works his way inside perfectly. Johnson has a lot of defensive holes that I think he exploited. Just battered him along the fence until it was over. Honestly, very textbook performance from Perez. Mm-hmm. And I think he did kind of just save his UFC career by finishing Johnson. The record is still ugly. I believe he's 2-5 in his last 7, but he's still hanging around the mix. I think he's in that weird spot where he can either hold serve or fight up. So in that regard, here's what I'm thinking. Kyoji Horiguchi and Amir Albazi are fighting very soon. Whoever loses that fight should have to deal with Perez next. I think it makes sense competitively, keeps everyone moving, Hey, Rondo, how is the treadmill walk going? Are you still on it? If you're still on it, bro, you should hop in chat. Don't be shy. You should just do 2 and 1. But yeah, man, great win for Perez overall. Definitely stuck his name back in the contender mix. Again, saved his career. Not much you can argue about that. I'm on it right now. What a beautiful profile pic, man. Shout out Rondo.
Handsome man.
Let's move on here. Nikita Krylov gets the last second KO of Modestas Bukauskas. Not one that either of us were expecting. But it was something about tonight and finishes with 5 seconds left that they're just going crazy.
I have no idea what was going on.
That was a really disappointing showing from Modestas.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better.
The UFC basically handed him a layup here. All he had to do was commit. Commit to his entries, to his combos. This is a guy who has been flatlined twice in a row. Just go for it, He didn't go for it, and he paid for it. For Krylov, it was safe. Definitely safe. But I can't fault the guy when it still ends in a finish. And also, I got no idea how much time Nikita Krylov has left on his contract. But if he is heading out of the UFC soon, This probably helps him land something solid elsewhere. I think the PFL would definitely take a shot on him. John Dong, what's up, man? How we doing? I found 324 disappointing. Only good fight on the card was Silva versus Allen, in my opinion. You didn't think Paddy Gaethje was a good fight? Well, actually, we'll get there when we get there, because I kind of agree. Really was the Gaethje versus Pimblett fight not? Yeah, I don't know. Main event was dope. Hello, buddy. Namaste.
Namaste.
What's up, man?
Tyler, I agree, though. I think Krylov has to be safer, else he's going to get clipped. But Modestas didn't even put himself in a position to do anything, which really, that's what irked me. It was like, he's scared to crash in, but, you know, look, he's a good striker. He's going to hit you, and it might hurt a little bit, but you have the power to kill him, to flatline him, and we've seen his chin. So I just didn't like the approach from Modestas, and I don't know why he was so timid in, you know, trying to execute that game plan personally.
Hey, Daily Community 6. What's up, man? Welcome to the chat.
Sure. How you doing?
Are we just going to glance over Islam's GOAT case, though? Are we going to... Man, go watch our UFC 322 stream where we debated that for like an hour. Islam was not on this card. Maybe we can talk about Islam when we get to Umar. All right? I'll promise you that, bro. We'll talk about Islam when we get to Umar, because they're kind of interlinked in a similar way. I wasn't a huge fan of Paddy versus Gaethje. I don't like fights where someone's just straight up eating punches.
Really? I feel like that's the best part about UFC.
I think that's no. I get where he's coming from. In terms of skill, I do think that it wasn't the best fight at all, and it wasn't a good representation of either guy. But that's what made it an interesting fight. But anyways, for Nikita Krylov, he's pretty clearly shown he's still got unfinished business at light heavyweight. He's probably not getting the Blachowicz rematch that he wants. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. In my opinion, I think they're going to do Jan versus Khalil. I think that's what's going to happen. And whoever wins that will immediately be back into the title picture. But I do want to throw Nikita Krylov in there with another former champ. And the guy I was thinking was Jamal Hill. I think that's an interesting fight. Hill desperately needs to prove he can right the ship and get back on track. Krylov is the kind of guy who is going to test you everywhere without being like a dead-end matchup. So if we're really trying to test how washed Jamal Hill is, or as you guys say, how washed he is, put him up against Krylov, because I think that's a winnable fight for both guys. But anyway, safe performance from Krylov. He got it done. But I think it's more so bad Modestas at the end of the day. I'm very disappointed. Expected a lot more from Modestas Bukauskas. But we move on to a back-to-back minus 1,000 favorites on this card. First one being Ateba Gauthier. Jamal is tough, but he ain't touching that belt again. He was lucky. Yeah, I don't think he'll get the belt back, but I agree. I do think Jamal Hill is a skilled fighter. I wouldn't go as far as saying he was lucky to win the belt. I think that performance against Glover was absolutely phenomenal on his end. But it's kind of crazy that this fight went the full 15. Obviously, we mentioned in the beginning. We hope your parlays were not ruined. But I'm honestly really impressed with Gauthier. And I'll tell you why. We've seen so many young guys fall apart when plan A does not immediately work. That did not happen here. Gauthier stayed composed, stuck to his strengths, dealt with the damage, handled the weird, slippery stuff that Pelaia was doing across from him. He just kept going, right? I'm honestly way more confident in Ateba and his future after that performance. It was like watching Shara and Barrio, honestly, because we had to see a dude really pull it out the fire. You know? Like, I think this was a statement from Gauthier that he can go the distance. His cardio can hold up at that weight with that bulk, and how hard he swings. You would think he'd Khalil Roundtree himself, but he doesn't. I think that was a very impressive performance. Rowe is another guy that's very, very high on him. Saying Gauthier really one of them ones. Middleweight Ngannou. Rank Gauthier, Prates, Morales in terms of punching power. I mean, they're all in different weight classes. So that's, two of them are in the same weight class.
I would say Gauthier, Morales, Prates.
I'm going to say Gauthier, Pratez Morales.
Because
I do think a lot of Morales' power stems from the fact that he has superior reach compared to Pratez. In terms of pure power, I think I'd still give the edge to Carlos, honestly. Because I think the Sean Brady fight is a bad basis to go off of, because Pratez would do the same thing to Sean Brady in my mind. I think Pratez would do the same thing to Gilbert Burns. So I don't know. I think that's here and there. But anyways, Ateba, Chris, what'd you think?
Dog. Yeah, I'm happy that we saw him face a little bit of adversity. Not even a little bit, a lot of bit of adversity. He's pretty much just known for going in there and straight up killing his opponents. He did do that in the first 30 seconds. I'm still mad that he didn't jump on him when he had the chance. My under half a round. Why did I bet that? It was a good bet though. Good value too. But yeah, I mean, the striking's there. Gaethje did look a little bit tired in that second round, but he did rally very well. And yeah, like you said, you kind of be surprised just the amount that he cuts, how massive this guy is. And I agree with Ro. We've been saying this. He's the middleweight Francis Ngannou. Like, this dude is chiseled from stone, and he's insane. He's a freak of nature. He really is. But like I was saying before, props to TOPURIA for sticking it out and actually, not getting deterred and kind of just quitting when it was so easy to quit. I mean, he could have laid down on some of those shots, and he didn't. He got knocked down a few times, and he got back up and tried to, implement his own game. Did it work very well? No, but you got to give him credit for trying, especially against someone who is as powerful and scary as Ateba Gaethje. For what I was thinking for Gaethje is, like, I get this, the slow cook is still happening, but now I feel like we need to see him in an actual meaningful fight. And I'm kind of giving him the Joe Pyfer trajectory right now. I want to see him fight Kelvin Gastelum. I need to see him fight Kelvin Gastelum.
Boy.
Yep.
I wonder who. Hey, Gaethje will agree to a catch weight any day, so I'm sure he's not going to mind.
Oh, yeah. But look, Gastelum has a granite chin. Hasn't really been wrestling as much as he'd probably like to. But yeah, I would love to see that fight. So
Ro wants Gaethje versus Caio. Caio's fighting RDR. I don't think Gaethje is on that level yet.
Yeah, not yet. Hey, he beats Gastelum though. He's going to start getting maybe some more looks at the rankings, but I think Gastelum's a good gatekeeper to really test and see where Ateba Gaethje is.
Nah, but I agree. We do got to test we got to check the wrestling. We got to check the wrestling, brother.
Nobody check grappling.
You talk about a meaningful fight, and I do like the Kelvin Gastelum matchup. Again, Gaethje's win wasn't some like jaw-dropping breakout performance, but I do think it told us a lot. You saw real upside there. I'm thinking Cesar Almeida.
I was thinking that too.
Like I think he is a clean step up in competition. This is the kind of fight that forces Gaethje to actually apply the lessons that he learned against Pulaev. Because Pulaev was a guy who just would not stop coming forward no matter how much damage he took. I think Cesar Almeida is of that same kind of mold.
Yep.
This is a guy, go watch his fight against Abdul Razak Al Hassan. He does not go down on the first punch, right? So that said, if Gaethje finds that chin at any point, this fight can end very, very fast. But I think this is a fight where you're not going to see the odds be that wide. I think if Gaethje and Almeida was set up, I think Gaethje will come out as like a minus 250 favorite, which compared to a minus 800, a minus 1,000, it's night and day difference. So, and if they give him, if they gave Gaethje to Gastelum, I do think the odds are still going to be wide. I still think Gaethje will be like minus 500 in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of on the same track in the type of fighter that we want to see him fight.
Yeah, a guy that's consistently near the top of the unranked pool has never really found his way back into the rankings at all. And you keep feeding him prospects, right? So,
yep.
Kangaroo has no grappling.
Nobody check grappling.
Nobody check grappling. Speaking of which, all right, y'all. Let's talk about Umar. And I made a promise to Ro. I was going to talk about Islam's GOAT case. I'm going to say it once. I'm not going to say it again. I have Islam in my top 5. I think he's a top 5 fighter ever. If he defends welterweight once or twice, he is the GOAT. Like, only time debated in chat. Go put it in chat. I'm going to leave it there. Now I get to talk about Umar. I know some of y'all are disappointed. All right. This was not exactly a barn burner. Actually, Chris, I'm going to let you go first. What do you think of Umar's performance? Do you think he cemented himself as the next in line in your eyes?
No. But I don't think a win other than a crazy finish was going to make me think that anyway. I thought that personally, Umar winning this fight, I didn't think he was going to be next in line. I think unless, it really also depends on how long Merab's going to take off, if they're going to give him an instant rematch, because technically he does deserve one. But after that type of performance and that type of ass whooping, I feel like maybe they want to give him a little bit of time. Personally, I always thought it was, I have a feeling it's going to be O'Malley. I think they're setting it up perfectly for Jan versus O'Malley too, for the title. I think that a lot of people were also disappointed. They're like, oh, how did Umar not finish a washed Figgy? I was saying it. Figgy, yes, the line was crazy, and Umar deserved to be a very wide favorite. But I knew that Figgy would be able to survive. I did not see Figgy getting finished in this fight, even though it was a dominant performance from Umar. I believe I had him by decision too. I'm pretty sure I said decision in the predictions. Figgy's still like he's not terrible. I don't think he's getting to the top of bantamweight. I think that conversation is over, and I still had a little bit of hope for him, but nah, I think that's over. But yeah, I mean, I'm still impressed with what Umar did. He goes out there, he fights top ranked competition, and he dominates. It might not be as dominant as some people want to see that. But yeah, I mean, I think that it was a good performance. But I just don't think that this fight, unless he finished him in the first round, was going to bring Umar automatically to the front of the line. What do you think about that?
After Islam and Habib, Dagestan will slowly become a regular instead of what they are today. They're always going to be good. I hate to break it to you. Pratham, I hope I'm saying that right. Pratham 10633. Hey, Pratham, man, they're still going to be here, man. John, you thought this fight was disappointing?
Yeah, I could see it was disappointing.
I think Umar could have finished him. I really do think Umar could have finished him. This was a cruise control ass performance from Umar, which is not good for your title stakes, right? Like, as soon as the fight was done, I was like, okay, if O'Malley does anything slightly decent, he's got it. He's got it. Now, we'll get to O'Malley when we get there. I don't think O'Malley or Umar is next for the title. I still think it's going to be Merab. I think they're going to run that trilogy. But I think Umar probably needs to fight Zahabi or someone in that range next, because what we just saw is not getting him past Merab. It's not getting him past Suga. The only thing I'm going to give this fight, it was tactically interesting. It was just not the statement that some people were hoping for. I thought Umar was going to come out here and actually try to finish Figgy. It did not seem like he was trying. And sure, you could attribute some of that to Figgy being non-committal, running away. But that's also on the responsibility of Umar to cut the cage off. All right, be a little more decisive. Get this thing to the ground. Figgy just blew his ACL. It's not like he's not going to hold up in the wrestling with a Dagestani wrestler, like he could have finished Figgy. He could have done it. I don't know why he didn't go for it. It felt like both guys were just kind of just going with the flow of the fight, which wasn't really the perfect. Actually, no, both of them were going against the flow of the fight because they never really engaged. But yeah, Figgy had the goal of survival. That's literally what it came down to. If Merab beats Jan, run Umar versus O'Malley. I think in that case, I'll get to talking about bantamweight when we get there. Once we get to Suga and Yadong, I'm gonna talk more about the bantamweight title picture because I think there's a lot of moving pieces right now. But in terms of where Umar is headed, probably not getting the next title shot. Last couple of performances, he really shouldn't just sit around waiting for one either, because when you go look at the Bautista performance as well, it was nothing crazy. In fact, he got dropped in that fight. Mario Bautista had the biggest moment in that fight, right? So that's not going to be something that's good for him. I think the hype is definitely cooled a bit, all right? And inactivity is the last thing he needs. He needs to get on his horse. I think Ayman Zahabi makes a ton of sense here. It's a very winnable fight for Umar. You can headline a 5-rounder on the UFC's Next Canada card. I think that'll be your headliner. And suddenly you're stacking a legit 3-fight run against top 10 level guys. So I think this is really for Umar a low risk, high upside move. I would set up Umar versus Zahabi as quick as possible. Whenever they're thinking of coming back to Canada, it'll probably be a fight night. Make this your main event.
I agree. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, it was just very very passive from both of these guys, to say the least. Just not what we wanted to see.
But these two were swinging for the fences. How about this fight, y'all? John Silva versus Arnold Allen. Promises made, promises kept. All right. We knew what this fight was going to be. And I think it delivered on all fronts. I thought Silva clearly took the first 2 rounds. His accuracy is just absolutely insane, man. The way he picks his shots, the way he can land practically any punch on you and just make it look so easy. I mean, the accuracy, the shot selection, the power landed at distance, the volume was high. Also, Silva's cardio looks so good, man.
Yeah.
For him throwing as much as he does.
And as hard as he does.
In that 3rd round, he was really coming on. Like, you would think he'd gas out by then, but he was still picking things up. But that being said, I'm gonna give credit where it's due. Arnold Allen fought a beautiful fight. And I'm not going to discredit Arnold Allen at all because he fought great. All right. I loved a lot of what he was doing. I think Arnold Allen's chin, we got to put some respect on that chin, man. How did John Silva become a worse tweaker than he was before Lopez?
The elbow unlocked a new version of CTE that we've never seen before on Earth.
But I do think Silva was a little more locked in this fight.
Yeah, definitely.
He wasn't doing any of his crazy, like, he obviously jumped on Arnold's back at the end and that became the meme, but like, you know, he was doing his thing. Like, he was kind of just flowing, going with the fight, sometimes looking to dap Arnold Allen up. Like in the Diego fight, I think it was night and day, because in the Diego fight, he was really letting emotions rile him. Like, he was just going balls to the wall to try and knock out Diego. He fought a much more composed fight this time around. Also, again, the chin on Arnold Allen is crazy. Absolutely insane. He was crying on Allen's shoulder. He is going to do that to any opponent. Like, if he knocked out Diego, he was going to do that to Diego. So that's just who John Silva is. But Chris, what'd you think, man? Arnold Allen, John Silva, main card opener on Paramount.
Great fight. Great fight. It kind of reminded me of when the UFC, I think I said this in the prediction video too, it reminded me when the UFC did Gaethje versus Chandler to open the main card of 268. It was like, all right, we're getting people in their seats to watch a banger. And it was a good fight, don't get me wrong. But do you guys want to see pain? This is lots of pain. Shrikar, can you flip it to the tab that I'm sharing currently?
Let's see it. Remove this, add this. All right.
This is pain. What
we got here? Oh, this just needed the Silva finish.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you're sweating bullets in that 3rd round for sure.
Yeah, I was like, dude, come on. At the end of the 1st round, I was like, just put it on him, bro. Please, please. And the sick thing was, I got greedy. I was going to do KO or decision. And I said, no, him by finish is like plus 130. I'm going to take the value. But hey, I called the whole main card on this, other than, John Silva. But Yeah, that one hurt. And then I didn't even realize because I forgot I placed this. And then I check at the end. I'm like, oh, okay, let me see. I'm like, no way. It was 10 to win 550.
That's tough.
Yeah. But what you get for parlays, got a straight bet. If I straight bet everything, I would have made decent money. And I made a couple bucks, but yeah. I just wanted to share my pain with the world.
The only parlay I hit on 324, I parlayed Sean O'Malley and John Silva, and that ended up going good.
Yeah.
Because me and Chris are different where, he likes to put on, he likes to bet on higher odds. I like to bet on lower odds, but just throw more money down.
Yeah.
You can gamble however you want. It's your money, but I like Allen, but when Silva was standing on him, that was hilarious. Yeah.
That was actually hilarious.
That was actually insane. I was like, what is this guy doing?
The picture of him in the air has me rolling.
That is one of the craziest out of context picks ever in UFC history. Like, that was absolutely insane. But John Silva got it done. Great win. In terms of matchmaking, Silva's clearly heading straight into the top 5. So I'm thinking about the top 5 names. Murphy versus Movsar seems like it's already locking up. There's no reason to rush a Lopez rematch yet. They wouldn't do Silva versus Lopez too. If Volk loses, a Volk-Silva fight probably isn't happening either. I don't think Volk would want that. So that basically trims it down to Aljo or Yair. I think Yair just makes more sense.
Yeah, I do too. I think that'd be a lot more of a fun fight.
Yeah, stylistically, it's way more interesting. Like, that's the kind of fight that tells you exactly how real Silva's ceiling is, because Yair can definitely mess with him. And Yair is kind of the product of inactivity right now, so he's going to have to fight down. There's no avenue for him to fight up. Yeah, this picture was absolutely insane. Something is wrong with bro. I love that guy.
And even the I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see it. I don't know if you can see it fully. John Silva jumping on Arnold Allen's back instead of finishing him, sad face, was the most John Silva thing he could have possibly done. Yes, I fully agree. I mean, look at him. He looks like a ballerina in the middle of the air.
Hey, John will be champion. Hey, for those of y'all that have stuck around the war room long enough, y'all know I've been saying this even after he was brutally knocked out by Diego. This guy is championship material still.
Yes.
There was nothing that made me lose stock on him. He had the Diego fight in the bag and he fumbled it. All right. John Silva is here. He is a legitimate contender. He has real championship potential. This guy could definitely be holding the belt. I would not be shocked in the slightest, but hey, congrats to John Silva. Got his bounce back.
Was when he won, I was standing in front of the TV going, arf, 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 arf. Gotta love the bark.
You're crazy for that, bro. I wasn't barking at my TV or anything. I don't think I would have mustered the strength off the eddies to go stand in front of my TV and bark. Not unless Natalia Silva was on my screen. You know what I mean? I think Silva wins that rematch. Yeah, I think Silva would beat Diego in a rematch.
I do too. I think he sets the emotion. Actually, I don't even know, bro. He's such a mental case, though. It's so scary. You don't know what you're gonna get with him. That's the problem.
Hey, my wife got it done, y'all. My wife got it done.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
This is what I was talking about before. Rose was minus 600 at the end of this fight. Personally, I gave 1 and 2 to Rose. Am I mad that Natalia Silva won? No. Do I think she won? Not really. It was just the classic, she might have lost, but let's push her up, because if she loses, we don't know what we're doing for the strawweight division, and she needs to fight Shevchenko. That was the thought that ran through my mind, is we're pushing her through. She needs to fight Shevchenko. Did you think she won, Shrikar? Let me know.
No, Rose won this fight. I don't know what I don't know what they were doing, but hey, Hey, Tyler, you got back off a little bit, bro. Just a little bit. A little bit, man.
Ooh.
It's just a little bit, man. If that's your wife, she like I'm her side dude, all right? Let's keep it a buck.
Polygamy going on.
But y'all know, besides the looks, I am a Natalia Silva fan. I love her game. She's one of my favorite female fighters. I'm glad she got the nod. I'm glad that she's kind of set herself up to get this title fight. Rose won the first 2 rounds. And that's the frustrating part. The third round made it obvious how talented Silva actually is. She should have been doing that the whole fight. And if she had, she probably finishes Rose. Because Rose tends to freeze up when things start slipping. Instead, she waited. And she got lucky it didn't cost her in the end. Why are you okay with being the side? Who said I was okay with it?
Nah, look what Tyler said right before that, though.
Shriek versus... This is an off night. She told me that Shriek versus Tyler MMA winner gets the Silva belt. Hey, I talked about presidential championships and all that other BS on the White House. Bro, we'll throw in the Silva belt. I'll make weight. Hey, Tyler, I'll see you at middleweight, bro. I'll see you at middleweight. I'll make it happen.
Can I ref?
My brother, Natalia Silva, is undeniably the most boring fighter in the company. She deserves a title shot, though. In the company?
Undeniably. I don't think so. I mean, bro, she is pretty good striking.
Make 160? You're crazy, bro. I'm going to try and get to 170. Can we do a catch weight? 170?
Yo, I'm like 165 right now. Can I step in?
Yeah, low-key, Chris is my champion. He's going to be my for my Game of Thrones fans, he is Sir Gregor. He is the mountain, bro.
Tyler, as long as you don't use your wrestling on me, can we do like you know in like the UFC video game, like stand and bang? We can do like a stand and bang fight. All right, bet. Oh, we're like the same. All
right, bet. Chris is my champion who will fight for my wife.
I want a piece
that's some Game of Thrones stuff.
After that, I want a piece too.
Nah, you just my contracted fighter type shit. She's out there dancing.
I'll take it.
She's out there dancing samba, throws a kick, and fucks off for 20 seconds. She is a good striker, I agree, but that's a boring striker.
No, but that wasn't how she usually fights.
Yeah, that's not what she does, man. See, hey, 10-7. Welcome to the chat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, brother. Appreciate it.
Nah, but that's just not the Silva I know.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I expected a lot more pace and pressure put on Rose. Shrikar, I'll ask you a question because I was thinking this to myself. Do you think she was nervous of the grappling that Rose could have threw her way, and that's why she was a little more timid?
I mean, she's fought grapplers before. I don't know why that'd be such an issue. I think the big thing with Silva is she has such dynamic movement that she used it too much to the point where she wasn't doing anything. She was just kind of moving. I'll give y'all a chair each. That is crazy.
What do you mean?
Go watch round 3 of the Grasso fight. It was infuriating.
Yeah, but she was up 2-0 in that fight, so she was kind of coasting.
I do agree, though. She needs to put on.
Oh no! It's kind of like the wall as a dog.
Wow, that's low key. I think she's like a female Yusuf if Yusuf had better kickboxing. Because I feel like what Yusuf has on the ground and grappling is what Silva has in kickboxing and on the feet. Right? Like, I don't think we've really seen Silva tested on the ground in that way before, at least not recently. It's kind of just been stand up and people trying to strike with her and make it like a technical kickboxing match. And sometimes that just wasn't work. John said, gee, I can't wait for Natalia Silva versus Valentina. What a banger that would be.
All right, yo, 10-7. Now I have a question for you. Do you think that Natalia Silva would beat Shevchenko? And sorry for talking about your wife, Tyler. My bad.
That's not even his wife. It's my wife. If anything, you're disrespecting my wife on my podcast.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I won't go that far. Our podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't want to say all that. But Dana's already said Silva knows she has been promised this title shot, and I think that matters. Nunes versus Harrison has been delayed. So Valentina's whole second belt idea is basically on ice until, I'd say, at the earliest, late 2026. So in the meantime, Silva versus Shevchenko is the fight to make. It keeps the women's flyweight division moving. It will not stall it out in any way. This is the clear next path, and it's probably why they gave Silva this opportunity. Shriek, who would you support? Both. I've seen Valentina win a lot, to the point where I think I'll root for Silva so she can accomplish that dream of getting the belt. Your wife or your favorite female fighter. I want to see Silva get the belt. I've seen Shevchenko defend it so many times that if she were to lose, I'd want it to be to Silva. And I think Silva's got all the tools still, man. She really does. So shout out Natalia Silva.
Yeah, I still think it was a low key robbery.
All right, now let's get into my husband.
Pause.
Nah, resume, man. Let's get into my husband, Derek Lewis. Jesus, man. Big goofy heavyweight doing big goofy heavyweight things. You absolutely love to see it. Chris, where's Waldo? Gets it done again.
Dude, I found Waldo. I think everyone found Waldo. I think the UFC found Waldo. This dude is good. Look, don't get me wrong. Derek Lewis definitely gave up. I thought he might have blown out his knee because I was like, all right, there's no way he just laid down. Derek Lewis lost in probably the most Derek Lewis way that you could lose. He was like, yo, these strikes are too hard. I'm not taking this anymore. But yeah, I mean, bro, what we've been seeing from Waldo, you put people in front of him, he goes in there and gets it done. I think we need to start talking about when is he gonna get back to, a fight against a Sergey Pavlovich. I think it's next. I don't think he's fighting Sergey next, but I mean, no, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I think it's time to say, when do we see him getting a title shot?
That might be the most sus statement that has ever come out of Shriek's mouth. What are y'all talking about, bro? What are y'all talking about? Look at Derek Lewis, man. I mean, how could you disagree with me? Like, it was the same shit as the Tuivasa fight. He said, and pretended to be more hurt than he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Except Ty actually hit him with a crazy elbow. So I'll give him that. But yeah, no, you're so right. I mean, he just gave up. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's time to start thinking of when Waldo's going to get a title shot, because he's getting to the point where he deserves it. And even in the Sergey fight, I mean, yeah, Sergey won that undoubtedly, and landed some good shots on Waldo, but Waldo landed good shots on Sergey too. I think it was just a little bit more of Sergey being more experienced in MMA and fighting in more high-profile fights. I mean, when do we really see Sergey getting taken to 3 rounds? And him not,
Volkov was like the only other person to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, Waldo he's good, man. He's really good. I think the UFC found one with him. And I've been saying it the whole time. I've been a fan of Waldo since he entered the UFC, and every time he fails to disappoint. Even in the Ante D'Elia fight, eye poke, gets knocked out, comes right back and knocks out Ante D'Elia with one punch. So yeah, I mean, I think it's soon. I mean, I don't. The heavyweight division is always going to be, kind of just a mess. But I mean, do you have him fight Volkov? I think so. I think you give him Volkov.
You get that ground and pound, chill, bro. Chill. Waldo Ward.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to say it. I was like, you going to substitute? But nah, sorry.
I mean, it's clearly directed towards me.
Yeah.
I profess my love for Derek Lewis. Waldo wore an eye patch to call out Curtis Blades. He doesn't want the title shot. What's the point of the patch? I don't know why. Guys, can we leave this whole Tom Aspinall eye poke stuff in 2025? Beyond this.
Oh, is that
I'm tired of talking about this stuff.
Is that why he wore an eye patch?
I guess. I mean, you want to make it your persona. Now, I mean, I don't know. Is his nickname like the Pirate or something? Because I know Shara.
I think it was like. Yeah. Wait. Let me see. I think that was. I think that was the reason. Acosta Pirate. Let's see.
Look, I cannot imagine this is exactly what UFC or Paramount pictured when they booked this fight.
Oh, his nickname is the Last Pirate.
Ah, okay. That explains it.
Wait. But isn't that Morgan Charrier's nickname?
Hey, Morgan, maybe you should be the first pirate.
Yeah, wait, Morgan Charrier.
If Waldo, what's the difference between being the last pirate and the first pirate? Aren't you the pirate nonetheless?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's Morgan's nickname too.
Why can't they just say the pirate?
Because it sounds cool to like the signify what pirate you are.
But what if I just want to be like a middle of the pack? Like, okay, I spawned in the middle of being a pirate. Like, I'm just a pirate. He's going with the pirate thing now after the Delia fight, but he wore the patch as a dig to Tom. Good one, buddy.
Yeah. That makes sense because he got eye poke from Delia.
I mean, this was the most Derek Lewis fight of all time. Outside of the Volkov fight, this was the most Derek Lewis thing I've ever seen in my life.
So funny, bro. He's so funny.
But honestly, I do like Waldo's call out. I want to see Waldo versus Curtis Blades. I think that fight makes a lot of sense. There's actually some real heat here, which is not something you always get at heavyweight. Both guys are clearly circling each other. I think this could be a fight night main event. I think this could be an Apex main event, personally. The only real question is what the UFC does with this fight, but I think it will happen next because if they give it a proper crowd, stylistically, it is a fun, high-stakes heavyweight matchup. I think Waldo and Blades would actually be a really good fight.
I like that.
I'd probably pick Waldo to win at this stage of Blades' career, but who knows? Waldo just kind of has to keep fighting until we get this whole thing settled out with the top of heavyweight. It is what it is. Friend of the channel, Curtis Blades. I'll be there. Friend of your channel. That's dope.
Oh, that's dope. Awesome.
I was about to say, is he a friend of our channel? I don't think any fighter knows us.
I hope so.
Hey, maybe one day. Let's get to this co-main event, though. Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong.
Sugar Show, baby. He back.
All right. I rewatched the fight this morning. I don't know, man. I don't think I agree with the scorecards. Like, this felt very similar to Silva and Rose. I thought Song took the first 2 rounds. And then Suga finally cranked it up, fought like himself. Yeah, he looked like the better fighter down the stretch. I totally agree. Did he get a little help from the judges? Probably, but still.
Potentially.
I think a title shot feels inevitable now, at very least in a title eliminator next.
Would it be him versus Umar as the eliminator?
No. I'm going to tell you in a second. Let's talk about Sean O'Malley versus Piotr Jan too. I think that is a fight that we just have to see. I want to see it personally. I don't think it's going to be the next title fight. I don't. I think they're going to do Jan and Merab. And the reason is the next time Sean fights will probably be the White House card. All right. If we kind of just use our brains a little bit and think about what card would you put an American star, it's going to be the White House.
I agree.
And they don't want Russians on the White House. That screws Jan and screws O'Malley out of that title fight if they don't want Russians on the card. So Merab probably deserves the next title fight. It's going to be really hard to justify skipping Suga Jan again, but I think Jan versus Merab 3 is going to be the fight. We got to see it, man. Give me Suga versus Corey on the White House. All right? Let's make it happen.
I like it. I'm not mad at that.
And I think Jan versus Merab 3 could easily headline a regular numbered event right before or right after the White House card. Like that is a title fight that you save for right before or right after, because those are the events that are going to be a little bit more dry. So that opens the door to make Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen, which is, I mean, we can't say enough about it. Just a stylistic dream. I think it will go down as one of the best bantamweight fights ever. USA versus USA, nonstop action, even if it's not technically for a belt.
Dude, make it a 5-rounder.
I was about to say, like, you already know the UFC will slap some kind of, like, as we mentioned, like a presidential belt or something ceremonial on it just to make it feel special. Like, it's obviously fake, but it'll work in this case because people will still tune in. But Sean and Corey, I don't know how many times I've said it since we started the channel. We have to see this happen. I will not rest until Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen is made. If Merab beats Piotr, you can't justify Shug getting a third crack at it. Maybe
I agree.
In December.
I definitely agree with that.
I agree. Yeah, I also agree. And it's just more justification to make Sean and Corey happen. So we want to see Sugar versus Talbot. That'll be a great fight. I think Peyton is going to need one more fight before getting to that level. With that being said, Peyton and Corey would be a phenomenal fight as well. That's one that I'd like to see if they really want to push Peyton. But yeah, I do think Sean and Corey, it cannot slip from our grasp. You know what I mean? Like it's very much possible for both of them.
Speaking of Peyton Talbot, I think you do Song Yadong versus Peyton Talbot next.
That'd be a good one. That could be a good one.
I think that would be a crazy scrap.
David Martinez is fighting Chito Vera, right?
Yes, he is.
I think if David Martinez wins that fight, you could give him Song Yadong as well.
Could.
Like, or we're about to see Vinicius Oliveira and Mario Bautista in a main event. So whoever wins that, yeah, winner. I think winner could fight Song as well. They'll feed Figgy to Talbot at the White House. Is Figgy just like the sacrificial lamb at this point? Unless your name is Montel Jackson. Crazy work. But hey, Sean O'Malley gets it done. Song Yadong, I thought should have won the fight. Am I completely mad about it? No. The judges were going to try and give this one to Sean either way.
Yeah.
But
I feel like Song had to make it almost like an undeniable round win for him to get that nod.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. All right, main event time. If you're still with us, I believe we got 6 people in chat. Hey, like up the stream, man. Like up the stream, subscribe, turn post noties on. If you are new, you can always hop in the chat too, ask us anything, especially regarding this amazing main event fight, which was so hilariously bad that it ended up being good. Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Now, I got to eat this one on the chin, y'all. I was wrong. I was lone wolf on Paddy, and it lost me the night. So we're going to have to bounce back at 325. But, Chris, I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you, 10-7, for the sub. Appreciate that, my guy.
Oh, appreciate it, 10-7. Thank you.
Yes, sir. 100%.
But, Chris, take it away, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't contain my excitement. I was pretty happy to see my guy Justin win. Freakar and I had heated debates on and off camera for as long as this fight was announced. I think that Paddy definitely did have a path to victory. I think it just became an ego fight at a point where he took the Scousers don't get knocked out to heart. And hey, it proves true. Scousers don't get knocked out. But yeah, I just would have liked to see Paddy actually try and grapple, especially when, I mean, Gaethje surprised me with his game plan as well. I mean, didn't really throw that many low kicks. Paddy was actually eating up Gaethje's legs on some of these low kicks. And I was a little bit confused because, I mean, that's Gaethje's bread and butter. It's just short, tight, low kicks, batter the legs, limit the movement, and then swarm. But it just felt like a drunk bar fight, if I'm being completely honest. These guys, they just went at it. It was just so, it was interesting. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. I'm not going to sit here and say it was oh my God, it was amazing, like technical fight. Like, no, they were just scrapping. And yeah, I will sit here and I won't sit here and say that the two eye pokes didn't help a lot. They did. And the first one was bad. Second one was less egregious, but still it was an eye poke and it didn't even get stopped for Paddy. And then Paddy comes back, hits him low with a knee, which, was also pretty inadvertent in my opinion. But yeah, it kind of stinks when a foul like that gets in the way of the fight, because now, I looked through a lot of the comments and people were like, "Oh yeah, Gaethje won," and then every reply on all those comments was, "Yeah, but he had two eye pokes that changed the fight," and it changed the fight, obviously, but still, I think Paddy could have implemented a better game plan to help him win this fight, or at least make it closer, win a round. But hey, the power of Gaethje is legit. It's always been legit. I mean, the guy can stand and throw, and when he hits you, it hurts. It hurts really bad, and it makes you reconsider what you're doing, which is why I'm surprised that Paddy continued to stand there and take these shots. But also, credit to Paddy. He landed some crazy shots on Gaethje too. There were a few super nice uppercuts that he completely turned Gaethje's head with those uppercuts, and Gaethje ate them in stride. And Gaethje was hurt a few times. You could see he was visibly stunned on a few of these strikes. But yeah, I mean, Gaethje wins. Obviously, next for him is TOPURIA. We'll get into that in a second, but yeah, Shrikar, what do you think of this fight, and what do you think of the game plans from both of these guys?
On my ass hairs, Paddy could have won this. Yeah, on mine too, bro. On mine too.
I've never heard that saying.
did Paddy genuinely like forget to grapple? Like that's my question. I was so certain Paddy would win, but the closer we got to fight day, the more I thought Justin would pull it off. Happy for him. Sad to see ILIA sleeping bad if that fight happens. That fight will happen, and it's going to be the White House headliner. Do you think Paddy got injured round one and that cooked him? It didn't cook him. If anything, he woke up after that. Well, I wouldn't even say that, because he was kind of tagging Gaethje before the knockdown even happened.
I don't think he just underestimated Gaethje a little bit.
I don't even think he underestimated. Like, he knew exactly what fight he was heading into with Gaethje. I don't think he executed. That was not an accurate representation of what Paddy Pimblett is good at all. And I could say the same for Gaethje. I don't think that was an accurate representation of Gaethje. That was the Gaethje of old. I don't think this was the recent Gaethje we've been seeing. I'm surprised that Paddy never worked on his head movement. Yeah, I understand that Gaethje has good takedown defense, but I thought Paddy would go for more takedowns. I don't even think it's the takedowns. Gaethje left so many openings for Paddy to take the back, and he didn't do it. Like, I don't know if y'all were seeing, but Gaethje was winging shots. Yeah. Those are the moments where Paddy literally has to counter and take the back and then lock up the choke. That is what Charles Oliveira, or not Charles Oliveira, that's what, what's his face? Oh, I'm thinking of Charles and Poirier, but that is kind of what Charles Oliveira did to an extent. He caught Gaethje at the right moment, got it to the ground, and he submitted him in like an instant. Paddy didn't even give him the chance, Paddy just got in an ego fight at a point.
Yep. That's exactly what I said. I think he just took Scousers don't get knocked out to heart, and I'm going to knock you out and show you.
This fight reminded me of Gaethje versus Ferguson. In both fights, Gaethje's opponents ate his punches, and they were both even for the interim belt. Paddy versus BSD Hooker is the next fight. Honestly, I think they're going to set up Paddy and Moicano.
Oh, God.
I think it's going to be Paddy Moicano. I think they're not going to try and rush him back into like a top 5 matchup. Just something within the rankings. I just think we as a community convinced ourselves Paddy was better than he is. Bro lost to Gordon. He won. And his UFC wins are Venturmini, Levitt, and the corpses of Tony, Bobby Green, and Chandler. I knew people would pull that argument out. But again, I just don't think that was an accurate representation of Paddy.
Yeah.
I think he completely threw this fight away, if I'm being honest. He had it. I just don't understand what he was doing. Like, and this is one that you learned from too, but congrats to Gaethje. That fight was absolute chaos. Hey, shout out Court. Hey, for those who know, Shout out Cody Garbrandt. Sorcerers don't get knocked out. He thought it was sorcerers. But Gaethje, he came really close to knocking out Paddy more than once. And Paddy had his moments too, like very, very actual moments. Just a wild fight. But I love seeing that interim belt on Gaethje. Let's not even think too hard about what happens at the White House. ILIA is going to sleep this guy bad. We all know it, okay?
Yeah.
No need to beat around the bush. ILIA is going to put him out in one. But that was an all-time brawl from Gaethje and Paddy. Yep. So bad that I consider it one of the greatest lightweight title fights ever. I think it's a perfect welcome to the UFC fight for new fans. Like this is one that's going to get them hooked. Totally ridiculous. Totally just an unserious fight. If you really love the weirdness of MMA and all the off-kilter stuff that makes the sport what it is, I mean, this fight ruled. All right.
Yep.
But with Gaethje and ILIA, it just kind of speaks for itself. It is the obvious next fight. It is the cleanest possible main event for the White House card. The UFC clearly wants to make that one feel massive. You're going to get an American star and put him up against arguably the biggest star in the UFC in Ilia Topuria in his return for the first time in a year. As long as Topuria can fight by June, which, let's be real, the UFC will absolutely make this happen if they want him on that card. They will pay him whatever they want.
Yep.
Like, it just feels inevitable. If you're asking what is the biggest, most marketable fight they can make right now, this is it.
This is it.
It is Topuria Gaethje. He fought Gaethje's fight.
Agree.
I agree. He played into Gaethje's game completely instead of adding any of the wrinkles that would have won him this fight. Also got to add that it was the absolute worst version I've ever seen of Justin.
I agree with that too.
One of the worst. One of the worst versions I've ever seen. The guy, I mean, we all know Gaethje to be a guy who fights with no game plan. But O'Malley versus Yan 2. So they're not allowing Russians on the White House card, apparently. So that idea is kind of sunk at this point.
So I kind of want to touch on your point of saying that, Paddy definitely, like, he did have paths to victory, and that he didn't fight the Paddy Pimblett fight that we wanted to. And then I'm going to touch on 10-7's point of, as a community, like, people convinced themselves that Paddy was better than they were, than he was. And in my opinion, I love Paddy, and I mean, that was kind of how I was feeling making this pick, was that I think Paddy's a great fighter. And if he implemented the game plan, then, we'd really see it come to fruition. But I don't know. I just didn't see the level that Paddy was being hoisted up to. And he surprised me. He surprised a lot of people by eating all those punches from Justin Gaethje. But I just felt like, inexperienced, not inexperienced, in the experience factor, I think Justin obviously has fought in so many more high-level fights than Paddy. And Paddy was kind of just feasting off, the corpses of people that Justin Gaethje has beat. But I don't know. I mean, I obviously, I am not down and out on Paddy, and I don't think anyone is. And if you are, then, I think you need to reevaluate where you stand after this fight. Because Paddy showed a lot. He showed that he can stand for 5 rounds with a heavy hitter and eat shots.
He's still young too. Like,
exactly. He's still young. Time. He still has a bright future ahead of him. I think the UFC is going to slow cook him a little bit more and not feed him to the vultures again. Not saying that Gaethje's a vulture, but you don't want to kill his hype train, because he's still one of the most marketable people the UFC has ever seen.
Like, Moicano is a very winnable fight for him.
Oh, 100%.
They're going to have him fight down.
Yeah, like, get him back on the horse. Get him back on the track and let him work his way back. But yeah, I mean, the fight really just, it reminded me of when Gaethje fought Michael Johnson in his first fight in the UFC. Just absolutely no defense, all offense from both guys, and whoever cracks first is going to lose.
Better than he is doesn't mean he's bad. I never thought he was elite, but things get to a point where it's like, what can you say anymore? He's winning and he's doing it convincingly. You talking about Gaethje? Gaethje or Paddy? I think he's talking about Gaethje.
Yeah, I would say Gaethje. Gaethje counted out a lot.
I think Gaethje over the course of his career became more and more calculated and more refined in his approach to MMA. And then with this fight, it's kind of like he just threw it all out the door and just went back to old Justin. Which, for Paddy. Yeah, I really want to see how Paddy does in his next fight. This, again, this is something we're not factoring. This is a lot of damage he took.
A lot. Dude, his face looked
ton of damage.
After.
Will he be the same is one question. I think he will be fine. I mean, he's a young fighter. He did accumulate a lot of damage. I think the difference between this and the Tony fight was that Tony was old. Like, Tony was already kind of reaching the point where he was slowly getting out of his prime. I'm saying I never thought he was great, but he kind of started to convince me winning is the biggest thing in most of his fights weren't even competitive. Yeah, for sure. And as you brought up, the competition wasn't the absolute best. And I think even with Gaethje, like, I think of anyone they could have gave him in the top 5, like, Gaethje was the most winnable fight for him.
I so agree with that.
I wasn't going to take him over ILIA. I was not going to take him over Arman. I was never going to take him over, who else is in that lightweight top 5? I was going to pick him over Gaethje, obviously.
Who else is in the lightweight top 5?
Who is in the lightweight top? I feel like
Oliveira,
those are
Holloway.
Oh, Charles and Max. I'm not picking Paddy to beat either of them. Maybe Charles, but I think Charles can easily hang with him on the ground, and I think his reach would be a big thing on the feet as well. So I think Charles could end up pulling that off. That was absolutely handpicked. He wouldn't beat Ilya, Arman, Max, and Charles. How good is Max Holloway?
Phenomenal.
He is the guy that could dethrone Ilya. I'm telling y'all, like, Max at lightweight is operating on just a different level than anyone else in this division, except the champion, of course. But Max is good, man. And with how good he was doing in that first fight with Ilya, I'm really confident in Max in a rematch. I don't know. It's kind of just, I don't know if it's just me. But of all the lightweight contenders, I give Max the best chance. I'd probably take his money line.
I'm looking at what the hypothetical odds are right now.
Yeah, dude, Max has to be like plus 300 or like plus 200 something. I'd take those odds. He can absolutely, he could go the distance with Ilya. I could still see it. He could get flatlined. Obviously, we've seen it before. Could he finish Ilya? Maybe. I probably wouldn't count on it, but Max is the people's interim champ. The BMF belt might have more weight. The BMF belt might have more weight than the interim belt. And I said it as soon as this fight was announced too. I was really happy Paddy Gaethje was announced. I was bummed that it was for the interim belt. I don't think this was a fight worthy of being an interim belt fight, you know? And obviously it upped the stakes and the fight ended up being great for what it's worth. But it still feels like Max can beat both of these guys, you know? Like, Max is the guy. Arman could beat both of these guys, all right?
I think so. I think Arman would beat Gaethje.
But Arman's in the doghouse right now, so we don't even know what's happening with him.
They're not even throwing him a bone, bro.
Yeah, go fight Gamrot, buddy. I mean, I don't know who Arman's going to fight at this point. Paddy's going to refuse to fight Arman. I know how this works.
I think Arman has a better chance of fighting Neon, the streamer.
Right? Like, no one wants to fight Arman. I get it, like, because of all the antics and stuff, but they're using that as a base for, like, Ilya said it himself, like, I'm never giving Arman the chance to fight for the title. And if it were me, and if I were Ilya's PR team, I would have instructed him not to say that. Because now you look stupid.
Now it looks like you're just a little bit scared. Like, we know you're not scared, but you look a little weak in saying that.
Yeah, but Max would be like +3. Exactly. I don't think he'd win, but I'd sprinkle. Yeah, if he's plus 300. If it's plus 300 or better, Max is getting the hammer of hell from me. And I bet over 3.5, whatever that's worth. I think Max would take it into championship rounds at the very least. All right. But Gaethje Paddy overall, entertaining fight. Again, exactly what the Paramount card was going for. You wanted an entertaining scrap. There was no shot they were going to put Arman on this card. All right. They wanted a fight like this to headline. And they got exactly what they wanted. Overall, though, Jerome will become a double champ. Hope so, man. I really hope so. For y'all that are new here, Max, probably in my top 3 favorite fighters ever. One of the guys that got me into the sport, I'd say Khalil Roundtree is another big one for me. Rafael Fiziev, who's fighting next week, was a big one for me as well.
It's going to be a good fight between him and Rufi.
Piotr Jan, like there's a lot of people that really got me into this sport collectively. And I owe a lot of what I know to them. But yeah, man, if Max becomes a double champ, I will cry. I will cry that day. That'll be an incredible, incredible day. Let's go for that. Don't even remind me, 10-7. Don't even remind me. When did y'all start watching? I was late to the game. The first event I ever watched was Strickland and Izzy, and it was at Chris's place when we were in Syracuse. We both went to school in Syracuse, by the way. I have a little photo frame behind me right there that has me, Chris, Sam. Sam's not here. That's the third part of the war room. He's living his life out in Europe right now. He'll be back very, very soon. And we also hope he feels better. He's sick right now. But it's me, Chris, our boy Charles, and me on there. But yeah, we're Syracuse bred. And now I'm in Illinois working my first job. So I started watching in 2023. I was very late to the game. But Strickland Izzy was the first fight I ever watched. After that, I was in a bit of a murky phase where I was like, okay, do I enjoy this sport? Do I like consuming it? I started watching other fighters. Khalil Roundtree was probably the first one that really captivated me with what he was doing in the octagon and how that fascinated me. Oh shit, we're out of Chicago. What part of Illinois? I'm in Rockford. Right now, so I'm about an hour out. Yeah, I'm more towards central, or not more towards central, more northwest, kind of near the Wisconsin border. But I'm working for the TV station out here, WYFR. I'm having the time of my life, so we wanted to keep the MMA thing running. Hey, if you're out of Chicago, were you at UFC 319? That's my question. I hope you were there for Dricus and Hamzat, or depending on how you feel about that fight, I either wish you were there or maybe I hope you weren't there. Because I know some people didn't really like that fight. But hey, shout out Chicago, man. Chicago's a great place, great city. I'm gonna try and make my way out there for St. Patrick's Day, because I know y'all turn the river green and everything. Yes, we gave tickets away. Hey,
that is awesome.
I think that event was dope, man. You look at Murphy and Pico, Prates and Neal, back-to-back spinning elbows. Obviously, main event. People feel how that was. I enjoyed watching it.
I picked Dricus to win, so that was yeah, and Aaron Pico. So that was a great way to end the night. But
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching. Sometimes I just like watching dominance, right? Like, for the same reason people enjoy watching Khabib and what he was doing to people, I enjoyed watching what Hamzat did to Dricus. I'm in the minority there. Obviously, I don't blame you if you thought it was maybe boring, but
yeah,
there's certain aspects of the sport I enjoy. Some parts of it I don't enjoy. I'll enjoy watching Hamzat completely dominate Dricus, and then I'll question myself watching Gaethje and Paddy and being like, what are these two guys doing? Like, we met Hamzat 6 hours before the fight.
Wow, that is awesome.
Oh,
damn,
wow, dude.
You got an in, bro. That's awesome, bro.
Hey.
Yeah.
Big ups, man. That's fire.
Yeah,
he was so relaxed.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
You can never tell he had a fight coming up. Dude, the way Hamzat operates, he probably thinks he's just going to go in there and literally smash everyone. Like, he literally thinks he's going to go in there and kill everyone. Like,
he probably has one of the highest levels of confidence in the world of anyone walking the earth.
Hopefully we see Hamzat and Imavov. I think it'll happen after Ramadan. I would think.
Yeah.
Sometime. I think that'll be a headliner after the White House card. But Imavov is next. I don't think anyone in middleweight is really making a stronger case otherwise. We'll see what happens with Fluffy and Strickland. But Imavov should have it locked up. And the fact that he doesn't have another fight booked kind of means that he is next, right? He is next.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. UFC 324. What a card. What a card this was.
Let me answer 10-7's question, because I've been watching for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I'll just throw it out there. Yeah, I've been watching since like 2016. UFC 200 was the first card I watched. believe that was Nunes versus Tate. And then, you had the Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt, which of course Brock Lesnar popped, so that didn't even count. Cormier versus Silva. Yeah, so I've been watching for a long time. And then, like Shrikar mentioned, I told him, I was like, yo, you got to get into this, because you like boxing, right? I'm pretty sure you like boxing, or like you weren't like over the top on it. But I'm like,
I used to enjoy it a lot more than I do now.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, you got to come over and watch this. You've never watched it. Like
I grew up on the WWE though.
Yeah. So I was like, look, this is the real version of WWE. And he was like, all right, I'll come over. And then after that, Shrikar was hooked. Same with Sam. Yeah, that was when I both got them into UFC, and now look where we are right now. I could say it went pretty well. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I would have never thought a year ago, or 2023, September 2023, that we'd ever start anything like this.
Right.
And this channel's only been up since July of last year, June of last year.
May.
Was it May? I think we started with the Atlanta card with Usman and Buckley.
Yep.
I think that was June or May. Yeah, sometime in May or June. Mm-hmm. So we're still young, man. We're still growing. We're still young. Yep. Just trying to get bigger, get better.
It is awesome getting people into the sport, though, but until you show them a really good card, and then there's crappy fights on it, and they're like, bro, why do you even watch this stuff? Like, it's so boring. And then you get a 30-minute wrestling match, and you're like, oh, I should have told him to watch something else.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, there were some crappy cards on Strickland and Izzy, but I just never brought that up to Chris, because I was just kind of taking it for what it was. I was just taking that face value. My first time ever fully consuming the sport. Obviously, I watched Conor and Khabib because everyone was watching that fight. Yeah. But this was the first full card that I'd ever really gone through. So I saw Manel Kape and Felipe Dos Santos live, and I thought that was a sick fight. That still is a sick fight when I go back and rewatch it. But then you had like Tuivasa and Volkov on that, and I was like, okay. Strickland and Izzy was definitely cool. I couldn't fully comprehend what was going on at the time, because Strickland, like Chris was telling me, like, this is one of the biggest upsets in UFC history, and I didn't believe him at first. I saw Izzy's odds at like minus 700, right?
Yeah, Strickland was like Strickland was like plus 700, I think.
You guys ever been to a fight? Actually, Chris, you've been to.
I've only been to one. I was supposed to go to MSG the past couple of years, and being lazy and not buying the tickets off rip really hurt me. So I decided to watch from my house. But my one fight I went to was UFC Long Island in 2023. That was Ortega versus Yair main event for the second time, and Ortega dislocated his shoulder. And that was very anticlimactic. But that card was crazy because I think 12 out of the 15 fighters who won were underdogs. So it was like, it was like crazy underdog night. That was when Matt Schnell came back against Sumu Derji.
Oh, against Sumu Derji, like, yeah. I was about to say.
Actually insane. But nah, Shrikar's been to 2 fights, and they're a lot cooler than the one I went to.
Oh, don't say that, man. I mean,
they are. I'm not shooting it short, bro.
I feel like any live UFC event is fun. I went to 317, Topuria and Charles, kick-ass event. And then I went to UFC Qatar. So first 2 events were last year, and got to see Saruki and Hooker, which was dope. 317 obviously was a phenomenal card, was my pick for event of the year.
You're right, 10-7. That was the first fight they had.
Yeah, and the Mexico one was where Ortega came back and got the triangle.
Yeah.
We were all at UFC 1. Yeah, no cap. You weren't a true fan if you weren't at UFC 1, you know?
Which was a tournament too, which is crazy to think about.
Dude, that's so crazy that you just go back and watch it, and it's like just a bunch of like sumo guys. Like, it's just like wrestling each other. I mean, absolutely insane how far the sport has come. And this is just the next chapter for the sport, right? It's a new era. We ushered it in with a fantastic, fantastic card. 10-7. We got. Thank you for the follow on Instagram too. Follow the socials down below.
I didn't even check my phone.
That's all down there for y'all. But yeah, we're gonna try and get ahead on this content, man. Normally we're just putting out picks and recap. We like to do a stream, but we want to put out a little bit more than that. Obviously, 6-week hiatus. we took a little bit of time off, but we're getting back on that active grind. I hope Gaethje actually does good against ILIA. Try your best, boy. Try your best.
Nah, I hope he makes it out of the first round. That'd be a win. I think that'd be a win.
100%. 2026. Yeah. Me and Ro were talking about, like, 2026 definitely feels like one of those years where something big is going to happen to, you know, all of us.
Yep. Gotta have the grind.
It's going to be something good. Grind set 100%. So we are going to have UFC 325 picks for y'all. It'll probably come out Thursday. We're shooting for Thursday like we normally do. Hey, peace, Tyler. See you, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tyler.
If Gaethje actually won, people would pass out.
Yes. Vegas would rake if Gaethje won.
They'd win so much money. That'd be crazy. But nah, yeah, I thought this was a great card though. 100%. And we want to come with the content all year long. We are going to come with something great. The channel will keep growing. We're manifesting this for ourselves, y'all. We want to do fighter interviews. We want to do all this cool stuff. And without your guys' support, it's not possible at all. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for hopping in stream. Thank you guys for being active in chat. We always appreciate that. That's why we read every comment, you know, or at least we try to, because we'd rather have people interact with us and have conversations with us than have a million subscribers and no one leaves a comment. You know, that just feel like worthless to us. So the fact that you guys are in here and being active really does mean a lot to us. So we want to thank you guys. Thank you for also
hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah.
Hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, we always we value your guys' input just as much as ours. We're just some average Joes, you know? My computer is dying. Chris, outro.
Oh, okay. I'm doing the outro. Yeah, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's awesome to do this, and we love when you guys interact with us too, and we love interacting with you guys, and you know, more minds than two are better than two, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm tired. It's like 1 o'clock on the East Coast right now. But yeah, bro, rip shriek. But yeah, no, appreciate all you guys for your support. And yeah, we'll get the UFC 325 picks out. I would say Thursday. I'm not gonna shoot for Wednesday because that might not happen. And we're gonna get Sam back in here. He's been doing a lot of things for work. He's doing some really good stuff. So, you know, let him do that. And he always sends his picks though, and you guys see that on the graphic. So yeah, it's always fun. We will catch you guys on the flip side around Thursday, and then we will do another recap on Sunday. So stay tuned. We got some big things coming. I'm working on some things. I don't want to spoil it. I'll leave it to be a surprise. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great night.